Every person believes they are part of a functioning machine, a well-oiled structure where effort translates into reward. But in truth, many unknowingly tread the precarious edge of a $10 trillion debt trap, skillfully masked as freedom, opportunity, and prosperity. The strange irony is that the more we succumb to this fabricated comfort, the tighter the grip of our invisible captor becomes. It begs the unsettling question: if we are all ensnared, who truly benefits from our labor and loyalty? This tale begins not in a sleek skyscraper or a bustling financial district, but in a dimly lit basement, cluttered with stacks of papers, old computers humming faintly in the background, the remnants of an abandoned financial consultancy office. Echoes of hushed conversations and clattering keyboards dance eerily through the air like forgotten ghosts of the past. Unbeknownst to the uninitiated, this crumbling remnant is steeped in a world where leverage reigns supreme, and the notion of freedom is merely an illusion crafted through well-manicured contracts. Here lies your protagonist, Jack Lennox, an overworked analyst who has come to depend on the mechanisms of this empire. Drowning under student loans and a lifetime of credit card debt, he struggles to breathe in this air thick with desperation and dreams deferred. Jack represents every man, ensnared by the webs of uncertainty and suffocated by the silent urgency of bills and payments, peering into a broken system that favors the few while rendering the many slaves to their own desires. The unsettling truth about this empire reveals itself as Jack delves deeper, exploring the histories of four towering figures who each played an inextricable role in shaping the financial landscape. The first, William Paterson, the Scottish banker who helped to establish the Bank of England in 1694. Paterson, in seeking to bridge the gap between lending institutions and the government, sowed the seeds of debt by creating the very institution that would come to dominate England's economy. Like a magician cloaked in mystery, Paterson's strategies birthed a labyrinthine network of financial dependencies that snared nations within its web. Time rolls on, and the weight of history shifts to Nathan Rothschild, the visionary financier who recognized the power of information and opportunism during the Napoleonic Wars. As the smoke of cannon fire filled the skies, Rothschild maneuvered through the chaos, orchestrating lucrative ventures that would turn the tides of wealth in his favor. Through perceived risk and calculated deception, Rothschild expanded the reach of banks and debts, embedding them in the fabric of burgeoning nations. His relationship with power players carved pathways that led to unimaginable fortunes, for Rothschild understood that war can be just as profitable as peace. One can control the masses by controlling their means of survival. As Jack spirals deeper into this financial abyss, he stumbles upon the indelible truths about J.P. Morgan, the behemoth of banking who redefined the monetary landscape in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Guided by an unrelenting ambition, Morgan combined rival firms, forming monopolistic conglomerates while perpetuating a cycle of credit that further entwined governments in his grip. Morgan believed in the suffocation of competition and monopolized interest, where every transaction deepened the dependency between creditor and debtor. Jack realizes that the system has been designed to ensnare, each thread of debt intertwining with another in an elaborate tapestry of financial obligation. The story of the last architect looms large, Paul Volcker, a figure meant to stabilize an economy shaken by multiple crises in the late 20th century. Renowned for his battle against inflation, Volcker raised interest rates to unprecedented levels, wielding the power of credit and debt as if it were a double-edged sword. As the middle class bore the brunt of these shockwaves, Volcker's calculus only served to heighten social divides and intensify the need for borrowing. Ironically, his reign may have brought stability, but at the cost of incurring deeper chains of obligation. The fatalistic idea emerges. This empire of debt is not an unfortunate accident. It is a meticulously orchestrated system, crafted to flatter the elite while ensnaring others in a false narrative of freedom. The rituals of lending and borrowing mimic a dance, with people spinning to the rhythm of policy and bureaucracy, believing that better days are just a loan away. However, the more Jack uncovers, the more he understands the system's sinister motivations. Each innovation in finance is a mechanism designed to further entrap both individuals and nations alike, a cyclical spiral that haunts every aspirational dream. As Jack navigates through this unsettling maze, he witnesses further examples of this inescapability. The 1980s saw money change faces yet again. It morphed from being a reward for work to a lure, blurring the lines of responsibility. Consequently, a new breed of corporate ventures emerged, where financial engineering glossed over innovation, creating monsters of consequence. Corporations stopped being accountable to their creations and began feeding off borrowed capital to inflate stock prices. Jack watches as every layer thickens, every promise weighs heavier, suffocating ambition under the relentless burden of debt. As the clock ticks forward, the looming specter of 2008 arrives, a defining moment where the safety nets are cast aside. Wall Street, the very heartbeat of finance, rapidly tumbles into madness. Yet in the aftermath of this